Hey people, thank you for joining. A lot of good stuff have been presented in WWDC. I can't wait to see all the videos or most of the videos. I created like a large list of what I want to view this week and next week and probably the next month. Today we're going to check the new SwiftUI things for glass effects. I'm going to start with that. It's my first time trying the glass effect styles and I can't wait to see the results. By the way, if you need to check all the changes from SwiftUI updates, you have this website from developerapple.com and you have a list of the key things that were added. You should look for the June 2025 for the ones that were recently added. And in the past, you have them if you scroll over this list. I will share the link with you in the description of this video, of course. And the code base and the demo project that I will try out, it will be available open source in the GitHub repository. All right, so let's jump into Xcode and try out the glass effects. Can't wait. Cool. So we have the demo application from last time, a basic SwiftUI application. This is the project is being generated by the template. It points to iOS 26.0. Here is the content view. It has an image with the globe. We can see here on the right in the canvas and the text hello world. It's all part of a VStack and it has a padding on load. And here we tried the macro bundle last time when we saw together what's new in Xcode 26 and a bunch of demo for person. You have a basic structure with some enum. We can see here in the playground. With the new macro playground, we can actually see here the information that we have in that variable as well. And finally, the preview is on the third tab on my right with the hello world text. Okay, cool. And this time I want to check first time the glass effect to see how it looks. Let's add some small spacing between the elements here. Let's make it a bit bigger, 64. And the text, let's put a padding here on the text. And let's see first, glass effect. I'm going to use this. Applies a glass effect to this view. I see a bunch of parameters here, but I will use the default one. Oh, okay, I already can see a bit of shadow and the capsule effect on it. Let's try to make it more visible. I will change the background. One way of changing the background is to put everything in a Z-stack. Okay, I will leave the padding here. And inside the V-stack, we can put a background. Let's opt in for a linear gradient. I think it's much better to visualize the effect here. Okay, I press Ctrl M so we can have those new lines. Colors, let's think about the blue color with 0.15 opacity. I'm going to copy here and also put the purple one. And start point, let's start from top. I would say top leading and bottom trailing, so it goes like in the diagonal. Very beautiful. Let's wait for the preview. Okay, looks good. Yeah. Oh, okay. We see some whiteness here, some of the primary color. I guess we need to ignore safe area for the Z-stack so it can extend to the whole edges of the screen. All right, how cool is that? Let's scroll here to have it. Let's delete actually the image, we don't really care. So our first hello world with a glass effect text. For me it looks like a button, but I think it's cool. It looks very good. And of course the modifier can be applied to any kind of view, I think. It's not specific here for text, but if you apply it to a text, you can see it's like behaving like a small button. Super cool. I'm going to try out the other parameters from this function. Okay, I see here the default parameters glass regular capsule and is enabled. And the documentation says that it renders the shape filled with the physical glass material, applies the foreground effects of the glass over this view. Okay, pretty cool. And you can apply to label and so on. Okay, hello world. Let's create another text right below this one in the VStack. And I will delete world from this one and let's leave it here. Hello world, like that. And to see what happens, I should have, okay, two VStacks, but I'm going to change the VStack to HStack and create a 12 spacing between those two, so they look on much better on the horizontal layer. Okay, I see them here. I noticed like the shadow of the second one is being on top of the other one. So if I do a -12, let's see what happens. Okay, those will be this one on top and this one right below the other one on the bottom. And maybe in some occasion we don't want that, but I will get back to this point in a second. Let's see here if I'm making the and check what other parameters I can have in the glass effect. We saw the first parameter is the glass one, and it can take. Let's see what we can have here. Okay, glass dot something. Let's check what. I can have it interactive tint, and this one can should be applied on already glass. A regular doesn't require a glass, and also the interactive. So first we need a glass object, and then copy it with a new modifier. So let's use regular. I want a regular glass right here, which is the default parameter as I mentioned. Let's put here maybe a smaller padding. I don't want the clip shape over there. Let's create a rectangular shape with corner radius of 4 maybe. And let's put false if it's enabled or not. And let's check on the right on the canvas what's actually happening. Okay, I see that enable destroys the background, makes it invisible. We don't want that. Okay, now we see the shape of the rectangle is more rectangular. The corners are not that. It's not like the capsule that we have on the left, which is the default one. And maybe in some occasions we want this custom background. And this is the way we are like allowed to do it. And let's create another text right here. Let's put an emoji this time because it might look much better. I'm going to select the cat emoji with the 2 hearts in instead of the eyes. And let's check the tint one. In case we need to modify the color of the tint, let's put it here as a mint color. Now you see like it's a circle this time. Oh, okay, looks great. Your cat is in a mint background. And you notice that we also have the interactive modifier. And if I'm doing it here, wait for the content view to reload, I can tap it and you see it has a nice glow effect. It's very cool. I like it. It's quite nice. And I was wondering, so we have this glass effect, we have the change of the rectangle. This one we can delete, is the actual default parameter. We can change the tint on the right. I will create another text here. Let's create another emoji. Let's put this star. I'm going to also give a glass effect here to the star. And let's change a bit the spacing between those two. We see everything is being collided together and might not look that good over here. And what's cool is that we can make them blend in with a thing called glass effect container. Let's do it. If we wrap our HStack with a glass effect container, we see like the objects are being in the same morphology, like they are blending together into this cool effect. I will drop the last tools and place them in a normal HStack right below. Let's put everything in a VStack. Put here a VStack, and here we can place the 2 texts that we created previously, the world and then the cat. So we have our first glass world right here. How cool is that? I'm pretty excited about this feature, and I think the things are really cool. And as you can see with glassEffectContainer, we combine those elements. If we don't want to use the glassEffectContainer, let's create also here an effect where like those two texts, let's put them into an H stack. And this, I'll bring the cat near the world text so we can see how it looks without the glass effect. What else? We can also create a button. Let's put it inside the VStack right here. So we have the VStack. Let's create a button now on that. Oh, okay, I put a label to that button. We can also create it. Play with the buttons. Let's call it like that. And give it a kind of a padding to this text so it might look good. Put this one, the button, inside the VStack. And let's create two more things here. Let's copy this text and put the second text. And let's create here a car emoji. Okay, and here I'm going to place a scooter emoji. Oh, sorry, is this one. Okay, cool. Let's delete the mint effect and the interactive one because we have it right on the top. Okay, so we have the two buttons right over there, the car emoji and the scooter inside the H stack. So they are looking on horizontal inside the glassEffectContainer. They should blend together. Spacing of -20 maybe, so they can blend. And I will also increase the spacing in this stack to, let's say, 24. So we have like mushroom between, so we have a bigger space between these two views and then the other ones. All right, much better now. Okay, so those two are blended together, the text. I have here a plain button. So if I want to introduce that effect, the only thing I need to do is to put here a modifier called button style. Not button style. And the button style should offer me this glass button style, and it should apply to the button. Okay, cool. So we have this button, and you can see it's like having the same effect as this cat, more or less. Cool. And let's imagine here I'm going to create a state variable so we can create a binding. Is scooter emoji visible? Let's hide it. This one scooter, I want to hide it first time. And we can do that with an if condition here. If the scooter emoji is visible, then okay, I forgot to put variable here. If the scooter emoji is visible, then show it. Otherwise, it should hide it. It should render only this emoji right here. And voila, we have the car emoji right there. And right now is scooter. And we can toggle. Let's toggle this flag and see what happens. So right now is false. If I'm going to press the button, it will turn into true. So we should see it. When I tap again the button, it should hide it. And you can see the animation is very jumpy. We don't have any kind of animation actually. We usually create this with animation block around the toggle, around the action. It looks a bit jumpy. You see like the text is coming front and then the other animation is showing the left. It's because of those spacings. So let's create like some positive spacings here. Let's put 24 and here let's put a positive 24 and see the animation how it. All right, much better, much better. You can see like it has that fluid effect here, which is very cool. Don't forget to add the IDs and the effect IDs for that, because these are essential for identity-based animations in SwiftUI. You need some kind of a matched geometry effects, and SwiftUI might not create the animation that you want, especially if you have like longer transitions and different states to animate from. SwiftUI might create entirely new views instead of animating the existing ones, and could animate the wrong elements. And to have this improvement, we can use the glassEffectID modifier. Here we need to find the ID. I'll put car, and here we need to give us namespace. We can create a namespace by this property wrapper at namespace, right? I'll call this emojis namespace. All right, and we can do it here in namespace and apply a different ID for the text, and let's call it scooter. All right, cool. We learned a few things. I'm very happy with the new effects. They are looking very cool. The glass effect, which essentially it's a capsule which is applied to our views. You can directly call that glass effect if you need to change the if you need to render a different shape, you can do it. It has the opaque result type shape, and you also can toggle it on or off the state if it's like enabled or disabled. You can give it a tint, but I don't think it's recommended to use it as a color. If you want to make it more prominent in some views, whatever, you can use the tint modifier. And you can make it even interactive. When you tap it, it will show this effect. And if you need to combine the elements together, if you have multiple views that share the glass effect, you can combine them using this glass effect container, and it will like combine them. If you compare to this two world and cat, those are not using the same container. And if you need to apply a button, let's play with the buttons like we have here. You can see we can adapt this button style. That glass effect will use this identifier to animate those shapes to and from each other during transitions, or if you have like complex animations. Wow, super cool. I can't wait to try the future APIs of SwiftUI. Let's see what else we can try out in a future video. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm very excited and looking forward to our next adventure. Bye.